This content is brought to you by Algorand, which is building the future of finance. Algorand is one of the leading projects in the crypto industry. It is getting significant adoption and investments. This content is also brought to you by TaxBit, which is the leading tax service provider in the crypto industry. I'm personally a TaxBit user. It makes it so easy to plug in my exchange accounts and calculate my crypto gains and losses. So if you'd like to learn more about Algorand and TaxBit, please visit the links in the description of the podcast and YouTube video. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto channel, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. With me today is Natalia Karayaneva, who's the CEO of Propy. Natalia, great to have you back on the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Tony.
Natalia, there's been a lot of great updates around Propy, and I want to go through them. It's exciting times. I'm, of course, a Propy token holder, so I'm excited to see all these updates. Let's start with the Propy NFT platform. Can you tell us about this and how it works?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thank you so much. We're also thrilled about all the news launched recently. This NFT platform is coming together beautifully where consumers can buy NFT real estate assets via their crypto holdings by participating in a bidding process.
Now, is this related to when Propy was the first platform to conduct a real estate transaction via NFTs? I think it was with Michael Arrington's apartment. Is this kind of building off of that?
Absolutely. So that was our proof of concept, the first transaction. The transaction involved a US-based entity that was recorded in the Ukrainian registry. And now we'll be NFTing more US-based properties. So that's why we have been building the legal framework, the technical framework, so that we can NFT all those properties. And since that property receive hundreds, if not thousands of requests to NFT homes, we've selected about 100 properties because we're very selective towards what exactly we want to NFT, so that it's a demanded property, it's in a place where many multiple offer situations, something that real estate and crypto investors would be interested in to participate.
It's just amazing what is happening and how NFTs are being used now beyond artwork. And the fact that, through this real estate transaction, you can do it through NFTs. So one quick question on the NFTs. I know the Propy blockchain is built on top of the Ethereum. So is this NFTs or the NFTs sitting on the Propy blockchain or on Ethereum?
So what we're doing is the ERC-721 standard NFT for each property. And then we're doing auction smart contracts for each sale, again, on Ethereum. And then the Propy token is involved in each settlement and each auction. And then the legal framework and the whole protocol, how we do KYC and AML procedures, that's also built into Propy protocol, every single step of which is recorded on smart contracts.
Wow. Amazing what's happening. I'm just so excited. I see Propy as just a big disruptor to the real estate industry, and I have some connections to that personally. So it's amazing to see what's happening. Now,
well, thank you so much for your long-term support, Tony. Definitely, I feel very supported by you, by your community on Twitter, on YouTube. And the other part that I wanted to mention, because many of your fans are asking whether we will stay on Ethereum for a long time, whether we're considering other blockchains. And yes, we are considering other blockchains. And the reason we are staying with Ethereum, first of all, it works. And for us, its most important factor is the security and that what we have built works so far. So in order to make a transition, we really need to have a very serious reason to move. And in real estate, this $100, $200 gas fee is not something critical for a $100,000 deal or $1 million deal in real estate. And that's the reason why we're not in a hurry to select another blockchain. But we do researches, we do tests with other blockchains. And if Ethereum 2.0 is not happening anytime soon, we may launch a couple of real estate NFTs on other chains. So all we need is, again, the resources of engineers to actually do those tests and proof of concepts on other chains.
That's exciting. And to your point, yeah, security is important, right? In Ethereum, despite the gas fees, which are, like you said, trivial compared to if you're doing a $600,000 purchase or sale or whatever it may be, that's very trivial. But the security is so important for the transacting of the actual and the execution, right, of the smart contracts and getting the sale or the purchase done.
Yeah, exactly.
There was some news of what's called a meta license that you guys are, if I'm not mistaken, issuing. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So recently we have a lot of interest to our crypto certified agent course. It's a course that we have created a couple years ago when we just launched. We felt like we need to have an educational platform for real estate participants, real estate agents, so that they get educated on what is a wallet, what is a blockchain, what gives any benefit to the industry. So we launched this educational course, and so many agents started to be crypto certified. And that's kind of a testimonial for them, an endorsement for them amongst crypto millionaires, crypto billionaires, crypto holders, that these realtors really understand crypto, so they'd rather work with those realtors. And then this crypto course has information about also NFTs, how to NFT a home, how to sell a property as an NFT, how to use Propy, what is a Propy token. But then more and more agents are asking questions about what is a metaverse, how they can work as an agent in metaverse, what metaverses are better. And we decided to launch a meta license so that we provide further the knowledge. Then we test those agents, or they don't have to be licensed realtors. They can be anyone who is interested in crypto and real estate and metaverses. They can go through this course, pass the exam, and then we issue this unique number, which is a blockchain address, as a license, meta license. And this, hopefully, it will give an opportunity for evolvement of new professions in the crypto space, in the real estate space, where people get acquainted to the industry, they verify, they prove that they own a digital land, they have wallets, and they prove that through the examination process, and thus they have a license. And once they have the license, we hope that these professionals will be demanded by the community. Those who want to invest in different metaverses, those who want to understand which neighborhood or which events or which games are most popular and most promising in the space of metaverses, because I strongly believe that it won't be just one winner or two winners in the metaverse space. There will be more than social media leaders. So right now we have Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, and each of those platforms attracts certain communities, certain age, certain population. The same probably would happen with metaverse. And then inside each metaverse, there will be some places where people would want to invest more than in other places.
Wow, that is so cool. And I'm definitely going to participate in that, because you mentioned you don't have to be a licensed real estate agent. You could be anyone who's just interested and can go through this course and get certified or get the license.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, looking forward to seeing you in the live sessions.
And it's amazing, as you were talking or describing, all the aspects of this, that it's not just the offline aspect of, okay, taking an offline real property, obviously in the real world and NFTing, but also properties and land within the metaverse that is bridging the two gaps there.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're very excited about, because eventually this digital world of virtual property will be bigger in terms of the market size than the real world. And I'm a very pragmatic person, so I maybe personally I also don't understand, but that's the demand. And people, especially after the pandemic and during the pandemic, they want to connect more with their relatives and friends across the states, across the continents. And we spend more and more time in those virtual worlds, for now social media, but then they will evolve in metaverses, I guess. And that's why I'm heavily invested intellectually in this space.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there was also news of an upcoming DAO launch. Can you tell us a bit about that and how it will work?
Well, it's still not in use. It's still in a stealth mode, but you can notice on my Twitter where I invited everyone who's interested in building metaverses in a working group. So for now, it's just a decentralized working group researching different metaverse and coming up with ideas what would be the ideal metaverse of the future. And so they're working on that, and hopefully they will have some news to share soon.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait to see once that some of those things come to fruition. So, off the cuff question here: do you envision maybe 50 years from now, or maybe not 50, maybe 30 years from now, that in addition to being able to view properties online and having an NFT version and so forth, that metaverses could be created for respective neighborhoods in the home, where I can put on my Oculus and I can walk around the home and I can go outside and go around the block? Do you see something like that, in the future?
Yeah, I strongly believe in this interconnection between the physical world and the digital world, especially when it comes to real estate investment. If you want to buy a property, let's say in Paris, or if you just want to visit open houses, not necessarily buy right away, then you put your goggle on and you go to Paris and start browsing for homes. And yeah, if you like a home, or maybe you want to invest in Bulgaria, where my team is situated, for $50,000. You can buy a beautiful apartment on the seacoast or in the mountains in a ski resort. And you have your wallet connected to the metaverse, and you decide to buy a property. With a goggle, you browse around the house, you see all the little details captured in this rendering, and then you just decide to buy it. So you bid or you make an offer, and your money are taken from your wallet, and now in your wallet you have the ownership in the form of the NFT. That's how I see it. And then if agents are involved in these transactions, then automatically they just get a piece of the commission in their wallets. Again, everything automatically without all this 100 pages paperwork.
Yeah, wow. That's going to be very interesting and very cool at the same time. Now, there was news of the Propy token getting listed on Coinbase, which is great. Tell us about that process. And I guess one of my questions was going to be, how come Coinbase took so long to list Propy? Was it just a matter of, certain timing, regulations, whatever it may be? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, when we launched our utility token, Propy token, in 2017, we were very conservative, we were very careful, and we were recommended by our lawyers to not go and pursue listing on exchanges on our own. If we get requests from exchanges, then we would help in exchange, and we would provide all the legal documentation on proving that it's a utility token, and then it's up to the exchanges to list Propy token. And those exchanges are a little bit slow to to get Propy listed, because we're not pursuing them so that we really stay not in a gray area, so to say.
For
Our
sure.
focus is really in the utility of the token, in the usage of the token, and improvement of the product, and not necessarily, all this artificial hype about the token.
For sure. That absolutely makes sense. And it's good to, work on your company and your business, make sure everything's right before, like you said, getting into the prime visibility of real estate and some of these major exchanges. So,
but we were super thrilled, very excited that Propy token was listed on Coinbase, because what it provided is the access of our true fans in the United States, because there are many, as we're selling primarily properties in the United States. We have many real estate agents, escrow agents, real estate investors that are willing to buy and sell properties, and they need Propy tokens in order to participate in the ecosystem, in order to put the deeds on the blockchain, in order to do transactions on Propy. And now they have an easy ability to just go on Coinbase, buy or sell Propy tokens, and participate in the ecosystem, which before it was limited in terms of Uniswap, was a little bit difficult and expensive. Other exchanges didn't accept US residents. So it's an amazing news, so that we start growing our network.
For sure. Do you anticipate other exchanges, given that Coinbase made the move, that other US exchanges will list as well?
There are a number of exchanges reaching out to us for more information, and we're providing this information right after the Coinbase news.
Got it. What's on the roadmap for 2022? Obviously, we talk a lot about all the cool stuff you guys are doing, but any hints as to what we can expect later on in the year?
Our big news on an additional service/product will be live in a couple of weeks. So we cannot share anything on that end yet, but that will be our number one priority and focus for this year. And then the second priority will be launching as many real estate NFTs as we can. As I mentioned, we have about 100 verified properties that we want to launch in the upcoming months. So I think these are the biggest ones. And then, well, I guess I cannot share other stuff. On the product side, there are so many updates that are upcoming. We are launching the MetaMask and Coinbase wallet integration in the next 3 weeks. There will be more opportunity to earn tokens for real estate transactions, for bringing more people to the transactions. If you invite real estate buyers or real estate sellers, then you will get Propy tokens as rewards. For agents also, they will be able to just do their daily job and meanwhile earn transactions if they do all those steps that we recommend them to do for fast and secure transactions. Like avoiding wire fraud will be one of the major focuses for those agents, for our clients. Avoiding title fraud. We will be aiming instant settlement for traditional deals when it comes to dollar payments. I think I probably, on your previous YouTube interview, I think I updated that we have a payment solution built in for dollar payments already. And that is evolving to instant settlement via smart contracts. Because with NFTs, it's kind of simple for your community to understand, right? You just bid, you put the Ethereum on smart contracts, and then here you are, you have the NFT in your wallet. Now with traditional deals, when you pay in dollars, we are getting towards the same experience, but with dollars, where the bank isn't involved, but it's so easy and simple that it also happens, if not within minutes like with NFT, but within a couple of days.
Wow. I'm going to ask you a question. It just came to mind, and it's okay if you can't answer it. But given that Propy's disrupting the real estate industry, have folks like Zillow and these big time players in the market, have they come knocking at your door trying to see what you guys are doing? I don't know if you can talk or say anything about that.
Zillow, maybe not. I don't remember. But a number of large brokerages, the top brokerages, they reached out with requests to acquire the company. And we don't want to be acquired by a brokerage because we believe we have to stay independent as a third party so that both agents, both brokers on each side can collaborate on our system. There were some real estate software companies reaching out also for acquisitions, and we're not there. We want to grow rapidly and have both angles, to go public and to keep building the decentralized open source platform for the real estate industry. And also in the last couple weeks, we got requests from the biggest VC firms and private equity firms to help this exponential growth. That's awesome. That's great news. And you guys are doing something good, that all these folks are knocking at your door. So that's awesome. I want to talk a bit about US crypto regulations. There's a lot going on. Infrastructure bill, but more members of Congress are waking up to crypto, seeing more of them becoming advocates of it. You have the SEC, you have all types of issues with the Treasury, but things are moving in the right direction. What's your perspective and outlook on what's happening right now in the US? When it comes to crypto, we see more and more crypto-friendly states, and the regulators to finally starting to waking up, looking at the mayor of New York, of Miami, many examples like Arizona doing dollars as tender, the crypto is tender. I think it's becoming crypto friendly, is becoming a kind of an endorsement that you are a tech savvy regulator, tech savvy politician. Because if you don't understand that, I think it plays a really negative role for the politicians. And now, given probably that half of Americans own crypto, that's my assumption based on conferences. Whenever I attend conferences that are not crypto, and when I ask people in the audience if they own crypto, half of the audience, sometimes up to 80% of the room, are raising their hand, and they're not tech audience either. These are realtors, agents, people in the field, on the ground. I think it's just too late to really ban or harm the crypto industry extensively with regulation. And more companies like Propy, like Coinbase, they're so compliant and working within the current compliance, current regulation, and providing a very good example of technologies and protocols that are crypto-enabled, but yet they are within the regulatory framework. Yeah, it's a lot of progress being made, and we still got some fighting to do, I should say, to get things right, but we're moving in the right direction. So I'm certainly optimistic. I lied when I said there was this was kind of like the last question, but something just came to mind, and it's so relevant. There's been a variety of companies that are launching Bitcoin mortgages, so you can get a mortgage to, I guess, based off collateral of your Bitcoin and so forth. What are your thoughts about that? Because that dovetails with obviously what you guys are trying to do. It's fantastic. I love this news. And if you check out our white paper 2.0 that we launched a couple of months ago, we're talking about decentralized mortgage and crypto-enabled title insurance and crypto-enabled HELOC. This all comes together beautifully in one ecosystem where you can sell your property as an NFT, you can borrow against this NFT, and the mortgages that are being provided, to the loans that are being provided to crypto holders, they are able to unlock the home ownership opportunities for payment of down payment, let's say. And it's just a starting point. It's just a tipping point of the iceberg, because there's so many other things that we can achieve as an industry, crypto industry, where you have a home, you NFT it, you can borrow against it. If you decide to sell this NFT, then you get the HELOC opportunity via crypto, the DeFi mortgage. And if you want to diversify your Bitcoin and acquire a home, it's so easy now to have both the NFT that is a collateral and get your Bitcoin back as a loan. So it's tremendous opportunity. And we're looking forward to collaborate with all those decentralized mortgages, to have them integrated with our platform, to also provide all the necessary protocols to make those NFT as a reliable collateral, and presumably those crypto banks that will provide mortgages against NFTs, they can also rely on us when they need to liquidate, and in case of foreclosure, NFT foreclosure, we will again auction out those NFTs. So I'm very thrilled about this movement.
Yeah, I need to talk to you like offline, because like I want to explore some of those opportunities on my own. I have I have two properties. I have my personal house I live in, and then I have an apartment, a condo. So like, can I do something with that condo? So I'll have to email you offline, but it's all exciting stuff.
Actually, we had a number of requests last year when we did the first NFT. A number of folks, even that those who are not really crypto folks, they said, I have this apartment and I want to get a loan against it. So if you can provide me a better interest rate, or the same interest rate like the current banks, but if it's faster and easy, I will do that. And back in time, we had a number of partners, but they were not able to provide us low interest rates. Now, those new companies that are coming out, they're actually are able to provide low interest rate. And there is one awesome company that is also getting ready with this new product in a couple of months. I cannot share the name just yet, but it's coming together where you'll be able to get a loan against your real estate with competitive terms to the banks, but in a very easy, user-friendly experience.
Wow. Exciting times ahead. Final question here for you as we wrap it up. If you could create your own metaverse, what would the theme be about? And maybe it might be real estate, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I'm very pragmatic, and I don't do games. I don't play games. So for me, what I'm building is the game full on. Like, I have enough adrenaline and I have enough thrilling experiences and gamification in the process of building a company, building the team, building the community. And that's, for me, the future metaverse will look like you can get into Paris or London or New York in a matter of seconds, and you would have this feeling that you're there. And you have the feeling that you're able to connect with your relatives. You can invite them in your house, and you can play board games in a way that you're connecting as if you're in real life. And then, of course, education piece would be a strong one, where if you want to buy or sell real estate, rent it out in a form of game, it would be also an educational piece for you that would help you in real life.
Awesome. Natalia, always a pleasure chatting with you. I'm excited to see the new updates coming up with Propy over the next few months. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much for having me.